Welcome to today's episode. I am really happy today to be interviewing Barbara Joergensen, who lives over in Sweden and no, wait, let me check.
Denmark.
Denmark. My goodness, why did I say Sweden?
It's very close.
It
We're
is very
neighbors.
close.
So.
I knew it was Denmark, and then I suddenly said Sweden. Anyway, Barbara lives in Denmark, and she is a corporate dropout who spent the last 10 years in different big corporations as an assistant, secretary, PA, and because of her health and some depression and anxiety, decided to leave and start her own business. So now she helps online coaches take care of their admin tasks so they can step into their CEO role. Barbara, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here today.
No, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
And how did I go with that intro apart saying the wrong country? How about the rest? Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I think everything was good. I left my corporate job some months ago because of my health. That's something I had to take care of,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's been amazing since then.
Yeah, that's so amazing to hear. And before we jump in, I'd love to know, how do you start your day?
So I always wake up around 5:15, and I go for a run. When I don't go outside, I have my friend mile in my little gym slash office,
Mm-hmm.
and I take like 7, 8 kilometers. I run for like around 40 minutes.
Oh,
I
amazing.
do a little bit of meditation, and then I take a bath and start breakfast. So yeah.
Oh, wow. What an amazing way to start your morning. I love that. Um, and what compelled you to start your own business for VAs and for CEOs running their business?
So like I said before, I was a corporate all my life, and I really like it actually. I work for amazing companies, different roles that I loved, my colleagues, everything. But when I became a mom, with my first, with my girl, like things still were okay. I could still handle everything. Of course, it was a struggle, juggling everything, but it was doable. But then I got my second baby,
Mm.
and the difference was that my girl, she was super easy baby. Even our friends, everybody were like, you guys are not having a baby, you guys are having a doll, because she was
Mm.
like not pussy at all, was eating, like everything was perfection. But then we got my little monster, my little guy, and he was a baby. Like he was like he was not sleeping, he was having all of the stomach problems and crying, like everything. So
Mm.
when I had to come back to work after my maternity leave, that was actually pretty long. It was almost a year.
Mm.
I was a zombie. Like I was really not prepared to come back, but I did. I started working again, and I asked for my boss, "Can I have a part time?" He was like, "Yeah, for a little while." And I was like, "Can I have a part time more? Because seriously, like things at home are not that good." And he was like, "No, you cannot." So I
Mm.
decided to leave. And I decided that at the same time when I left, another opportunity came in that was better. I was like, okay, I'm going to take that. But this is where I think I should have listened to my gut and just leave and stay home, because I took another job, and that's where things started to roll a little bad, like I started experiencing a lot of anxiety, and I had panic attacks, something that I never experienced before in my life. And so I stopped working after a year. I was like, no, now I'm gonna just be me and my kids. And we were for that for a while, us three. Well, my husband also, but yeah, like I was a home mom. But I start missing, like the challenge. I start missing being with grown-ups, like using my brain in other things than just changing diapers and doing food. So that's what I decided. Okay, maybe I should start doing something for my own. And it took
Mm.
me a while, because I was having a little fear. I was, what if this is not working? What if I'm doing the wrong decisions? What if I all those what ifs? But at the end of the day, I said, yeah, I'm doing it, and I did it. And yeah, and it also took a while, because between the decision and actually taking action, I got into a very bad depression, like
Mm.
very, very bad. So I had to recover myself first in order to start something new. So that was also why it took a little longer. Yeah.
Mm. Um, and what is the legacy that you want to leave in the world?
I think just for me, it's more about my kids. I want my kids to have a mom that is thriving. I think as moms, we give so much to them that we forget a little bit about ourselves. So I think my legacy, maybe for me and for other moms around the world, I want them to know that it's okay to be a mom, but it's also okay to want something for you. It's also
Mm.
okay to care for you. It's also okay to have your own dreams aside from your family and from your kids, you know? And I think this is a lot of times forgotten, you know, that we get into this motherhood role that is amazing and it's awesome, but we forget ourselves in there. So I don't want for other moms to do that. I also want other moms to have their dreams. I also want them to have their aspirations and be ambitious, you know, like you don't have, because you're a mom, you cannot have the perfect job. You can have both and you can be still ambitious and you can still grow. You can do everything if you want.
Mm, yeah. Um, and what hurdles have you personally faced and how have you overcome them?
Well, I think my depression was one of the biggest one, and I think it was something that started because being in this struggle between job and being a mom. I think when you have this struggle inside of you that I know first I want the challenge and second I need the money, but I'm also a mom and I also want to be with them. Like I don't want to send them so early to school. Those all those struggles in my head made me very sick. And of course it's like a can of worms, you know, like once you open a little bit just all the worms come out with a lot of other things that I knew I had inside of me, and I knew there were struggles, but I thought I had them, you know, like tamed down, like, oh yeah, it's okay. But when the other things started manifesting, the other worms came out. So I had to work through a lot of different things in my life, not just motherhood, but me, my relationship with my couple, you know, my relationship with me moving to Denmark. So all those things that for a very long time, I just pressed down.
Mm,
So at the end of the day, I'm actually very grateful for my depression, which sounds very, I don't know, real for a lot of people. They're gonna be
I
like,
get it.
yeah, like how can you be grateful for being in such a bad place? But being in such a bad place showed me that first of all, I can come out of that. I'm strong. I can do that. And second of all, I fixed so many things inside of me. I healed so many little wounds and big wounds that I just couldn't have done it otherwise, you know?
Mm,
And I came to the other side much stronger, much motivated, but mostly also with a goal. I want to do this, you know. And I'm still on therapy and I'm still working with me because I realize that working with your on yourself, it's a never ending story. Like you always have to work something, and
yeah.
it's also part of growing, you know.
Yeah, totally. It really is. Um, and so why do you think it's so important to delegate?
So I think, and I see a lot of entrepreneurs out there that they just burn out. And
Mm,
as a burnout mama, and I haven't experienced burnout in an entrepreneurial life now, until now, but I have experienced burnout when I was in corporate, where you
mm,
go around like a zombie, that you don't feel good, that you
yeah.
don't even love your job anymore. And that happens also in entrepreneurial. That also happens when you are having your own business. At some point, you just have so many things to do. There's so small tasks that you need to do that you either burn out or find help. And this is why I want people to know that it's okay to ask for help and it's okay to
Mm,
bring somebody into your team. You just have to go through the process of hire that person, right? but you need to delegate so you can concentrate on what is important for you and for your business, and kind of fall in love with it again. We all started with this big motivation, like, oh yeah, we're gonna conquer the world, and then suddenly all the other things happen and you're like, oh, why am I doing this? So I don't want you to feel that. And delegating is so, so important to thrive as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And so who can you delegate to?
Well, this is very important. Before you start delegating, I think you should do a list of all the tasks you have around your business, like everything you have around your business, from emails you send, your clients' experience, your online social media, etc. Like everything you do in your business, make a list. And then from there, I want you to see what things you can actually send to somebody else, because there's some things you still cannot, like all a strategy behind your business. That's not something you delegate. Or for example, if you're doing podcasts like you and me, but you're not gonna delegate the interviews of the podcast, but you can delegate the editing or the social media. So be very clear of what are the tasks you want to delegate. And then from there, try to find a person that has those special skills that you need help with. So, for example, if you want to delegate your social media, then you would like to have somebody that is a social media manager that knows about graphics, that can analyze your Instagram engagement, for example.
Mm,
Or if you want to delegate all behind the scenes of your podcast, then you want a podcast manager. So what are those things and tasks that are taking you really long time that you hate because you actually don't like? Like I love to do interviews on my podcast, but the editing and the social graphics is like, oh, I need to do them
mm,
again. So if you have that feeling also that this is a task that I actually don't like, then send them to another person. So
mm.
that's how you start delegating. First, identify everything you have, and then find the right person for those tasks that you don't want to do.
Yeah, and that's so useful. And I definitely, one of the things that I definitely delegate is the editing of my podcast. Um, I mean, I kind of edit it for YouTube because that's really basic, but the actual like editing my actual audio and stuff, I do not do that.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
saves so much time. It's yeah, really, really does. And then you can focus on the stuff that is your like area of genius and stuff too. Um,
Exactly.
and so if you're someone that it likes to do everything themselves and is used to doing it all themselves, how can they surrender control?
This is a really good question because I am a control freak myself.
Mm,
So I know how difficult it is to give your baby away. And this is what happens. We have this mentality that my business is my baby. I
yeah.
have to care. And because I know and I hear this all the time, I know how to do things. I know how my way.
Mm,
But the thing is that you have to remember that when you bring somebody into your business, they're actually gonna help. It's an investment. They're gonna help you grow because you can actually get into the things that you are good at.
mm,
So you can grow and so you can actually make more money. So this
mm,
person is not gonna intrude into your business and like, she or him gonna actually come inside and take from your plate those things that they know make money, like doing 10 Canva graphics, and they're not making you money. Engaging maybe every day into Instagram, maybe they're not making you money, or liking pictures on Instagram, that doesn't make you money. So you can actually start focusing on the things that actually makes you money, makes you grow, and you can actually
mm.
serve your clients even better. So
Yeah.
what you need to do is change that mindset from an intruder to I'm getting help.
I love that. I really like that. And how do you choose who you should delegate to? Because I feel like that could be really overwhelming too, like knowing who to trust.
Yeah. So the first thing you want to do is, like I said, you want to find the skills. Like that person has what skills you need in your business. And the second one is the soft skills, so that the personality of that person. That's why it's very, very important to interview a couple of them before you hire somebody, because a hard skill like, you know, learning how to use Instagram or learning how to do graphics and Canva, those things you can actually learn, like that person can learn those things. But being very good at communicating, being respectful, being very, you know, like being having a good sense of humor, you know, having fun, those things you don't learn. Those things you have to have in, you know, they're part of your core. So that's why it's very important, you as a business owner, you should write down what you would like in that person. So I would like somebody that is very you know, responsible, or I would like somebody that is, you know, like a kind of like Santa Claus list. So make that list, write them down, and then when you start interviewing people, then you can see, okay, this person actually has most of what most of the things that are on my list. She's very skilled on Canva. She's very skilled on like scheduling Instagram, and she's very skilled at client customer service. And but she's also very fun. She seems very relaxed. She seems also very responsible. So then you can weight both things. You know, if she's missing some hard skills, she's missing something that she can learn, but she's having really good soft skills, then that's the person for you. Then that's a jackpot. But it's very, very important that you as a business owner, first, you need to know what you want. Because I think, and this is something I see a lot in Facebook groups, like, I need somebody doing this and that. But yeah, but a lot of people can do that. But what do you want from that person other than the skills they have? What do you want that person in your business? There has to be somebody that is very compromised with your mission. It has to be somebody that knows your business, but also wants to engage in your business. So, and also you want to think, you want to ask this person how long you want, like, are you working just because you're through college and you're earning some money, and once you finish college then you know, goodbye? Or this is your real career, this is what you want to do? Because also you don't want to bring somebody in your team that maybe it's gonna be, you're gonna engage and they're gonna be super useful, and then at 6 months, like, goodbye, and I am going to be traveling the world forever, and then you've been training them for 6 months, you know. So you also want to ask, what do you want? Like, what do you want, or what do you see yourself in like 2 years, you know? So you can see if
Totally.
you are in the same place. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so in terms of like with your business, how do you know when you should start delegating?
When you feel like every morning when you wake up, you're not having it, you're like, oh, the only thing I want to do is talk to my clients, but the rest of my to-do list, like, I don't want to do that. That's when
Mm,
the time you need to start taking some action.
mm,
So, because you might love what you do with your clients, and that's what you like, you know, like coaching your clients, give them advice, you know, helping them through something, but you don't like the other things. And but because you started alone, you were solo for so long, you're still doing them. But if you're in a position economically, financially, that you can actually start bringing somebody into your team, do that. Because if you continue through that oh, I don't want to do this, you continue, at some point you're going to burn down, and you're going to be like, this entrepreneurial life was too difficult. And it wasn't difficult, it was because you didn't have extra support there for you. So
mm,
check out how you're feeling, and second, check out your wallet. Are you in a financial position to already bring somebody to your team? Yes, then do that.
mm. That's really useful. Um, and so what do you love about doing what you do?
Oh, I'm an Enneagram 2 and 9, so that I'm super like help. I love to help. Like, I don't like to see people struggle. That I don't really like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I really the kind of person that I'm gonna always try to find a solution for your problems. That's what I like. I
Mm,
like to work with people that they're very open, you know, and they really want to also have a relationship with me. I think at the end of the day, you use time with somebody else when you're in their team, and it's very important you have this good relationship with each other.
Mm.
And I think that's why I like what I do. I'm so service minded that it's just very natural for me to help others and bring the best of them. Yeah.
Mm. Beautiful. And what inspires you?
I think I'm very inspired for everything. Like life in general inspires me. I have learned from very long time ago that because I moved from Mexico when I was 24 to Denmark, I
Mm-hmm.
learned that time is very fragile. So you should really get inspired and you should really see everything, take advantage of every single day. So my inspiration can come from my kids, from my husband, from a movie, from a book, like I always try to find those inspirations. And also from the quiet, especially when you're a mom, if you have those precious little quiet time,
Oh
those
yeah.
also are very, those are the times where you also get very inspired. So
Mm.
I think you should get inspired of life. I think that's why I am. Yeah.
Mm. And what are you curious about right now?
Right now, I'm starting to thinking that I want to take back knitting. Like I started knitting for so long time ago, and then I
Oh yeah.
forgot. So I'm very curious about taking that hobby again.
Ah,
Um,
cool.
yeah, for the winter because it's in the winter when you're very cold, especially your hands, it's nice to like move them with the needle.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Especially over there, it must get so cold.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. It's kind of a meditative hobby as well, I feel like. Um,
yeah.
yeah, and what's your favorite book and why do you love it?
Well, I have two that they never change, and I have that my third one is always changing. But the first one is The Divine Comedy from Dan Delegating, and this is because I was raised Catholic,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the questions I always ask, priests and nuns, because I was also in a nun school, it was how hell looks like. And it was the question that nobody wanted to answer because, in Catholic church sometimes it's a little taboo to talk about the devil
Mm.
but when I read the Dante Alighieri Divine Comedy, it was like the answer to all my questions around hell and the purgatory and heaven. But also the way he described the whole thing is just beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. So I really like that one. And then my second, because I cannot say just one, my second favorite book is a romantic called From Water to Chocolate. I think that's the name translated in English, but it's from, now I really need to remember, it's from Laura Esquivel. She's Mexican and she's amazing. That book is so beautiful, and it's a completely romantic story that you're gonna be like, oh,
Mm.
amazing. So I'm such a romantic girl. Those two are my favorite. Yeah.
I'll have to look them up and I'll link to them in the show notes for sure. And who's your most impactful teacher?
My mother.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, my mother, she's my best friend, but she's also one of the strongest women I know.
Mm-hmm.
My dad traveled a lot when we were kids, so we were a lot alone with her. And she always managed to work and sometimes even double shift, take care of us, and have everything ready. Like she was a truly warrior. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so she's my inspiration every day. She's somebody I always look up to, and my best friend. I always also come to her to ask for advice or when I'm
Um,
alone. Yeah, so
yeah.
yeah,
Is she over in Mexico?
she is. So I miss her every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. I bet. Um, and what do you wish you'd known when you first started out?
I knew it was difficult. Like I was naive to the idea that things actually are difficult when you start out a new business.
Mm.
But maybe not that difficult at it. I think it's
Yeah.
you know like it was difficult, but maybe it's a notch more than I was expecting. And but another thing that also surprised me is that how much I love it, how much I love the challenge every day, and how I also love taking decisions for me and my business and for my family. So I feel like I'm growing a business around no, I'm actually having my business included in my life, not having my life around my business. You know what I mean? So, which I think is very, very important. So those two things, they've really been surprising me a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And what would you do differently?
I think until now, I think I will start creating content way before. But you go through this phase where you're a little new and you start like, oh, is this working? This is not working. So I think now I have a pretty good idea of what works for me and for my audience. And, now I'm just working through that. So, but yeah, but you have to learn along the way, and every turn it's a new lesson, and that's the beauty of life. So yeah.
It really is. It really is. Um, and if you could remove all barriers and constraints, what project would you want to be known for and work on?
At some point in my life, I will love to write a book. That's like my wildest dream. That's like my holy grail. So at some point in my life, I would like to write a book about maybe a romantic comedy, maybe about my life, maybe something. I think that's something I would like to do, and that's something I would like to be known for. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. What language would you write it in?
That's the question. I think it has to be in Spanish at the beginning because that's where I'm more comfortable.
Yeah,
It just flows better. Yeah, it flows
yeah,
easy. Yeah.
yeah. Um, and what's the best compliment you ever received?
And this is something I got actually not so long time ago. I learned Danish as an adult, and for me, learning Danish was something that was terrifying because it's very foreign for English or for Spanish, and it took me a really long time to feel confident to talk and to really express myself in Danish. And I always have it, and I always have this, voice in my head telling me, "Oh, you're not doing it good. It's not
Mm,
correct," because I'm a perfectionist. But some years ago, I had a colleague telling me that she actually, two actually, a guy and a girl, telling me that they really like my accent. And this is something that I've been struggling for so long to get rid of because I always was like, if I can sound like a Danish, that will be perfect. But
mm,
when they told me like, no, I love your accent, like your accent makes you who you are, I
mm,
think for me it was a wake up call to remind me that I have to love myself and also accept that, yeah, like I'm not Danish, I'm not American or English. Like I do have an accent because this is who I am. I'm somebody that moved to another country to follow the love of her life
mm,
and impulsively and super in love, and this is me. My accent is part of my story and my accent is part of my roots. So I finally learned to love my accent and to really embrace it and to really, I don't care anymore if people like it or not.
mm. That's beautiful. I really love that. Um, and what's one thing your work's done for one of your clients that you didn't expect?
I always do my job without expecting anything. But when a client turns into a really good relationship, a friendship, I think that's amazing. And
Mm,
one of my clients is actually a really good friend of mine right now. And we got accountability meetings where we help each other, we laugh with each other. And I think that when you can do that, it's just a jackpot. you know Turning a client into a friend, that's unbelievable. That's really amazing. So
yeah,
yeah, so I think that would be it.
yeah, definitely. Um, and so what does elevating your life and soul mean to you?
For me, it's been really balance with my body, mind, and me, like me as Barbara. I think for a long time, especially the last 3 years, I've been in such a unbalanced life because of what's been gone through, that finally, when now I'm very in balance with me, with my spirituality, with my body, because I'm doing a lot of exercise, like, so I feel that's something that is very important and something we should really take care of ourselves, to have this balanced life. And sometimes you have a glass of wine and chocolate, and that's also nice,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, sure.
everything is a balance.
Yeah, totally. And so is it now that, do you have any final thoughts, or is there anything I didn't ask you that you wish I'd asked you that you'd like to share?
No, I think I already am an open book. So I'm always, if everybody wants to ask me a question, I will always be willing to answer. I don't like to hide behind facade. I'm not like that. So no, so if your audience at some point they want to ask me something, bring them in. I will be happy to answer.
Amazing. And how can people connect with you, and what offers do you have out there right now?
So I'm always on Instagram. That's my favorite platform, and you can find me at Barbara Joergensen Studio, and also on my website, barbarajoergensen.com. And yeah, come and chat with me. Always open to chat with you guys.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much. It's been so great. I've really loved our chat today. Some really useful tips, and your story is just so interesting as well. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure and an honor. Thank you.